I know many agents that are doing the property tours, the social media posts, they're posting beside nice cars, they're doing all the videos and getting hundreds of thousands of views, and they're broke. But from the surface of social media, it looks like they're crushing it. They're millionaires, they've got all the connections, but you don't see their signs in the yard. Most realtors are genuinely pretty unhappy, and while many won't want to admit that, I talk to over 100 agents every single month one-on-one on Zoom who are looking to partner with us, and I see so many of them that are unhappy in business and life and where they're going, and that's taking away from their progress. So what I'm going to do is break down the 4 main reasons why most real estate agents are pretty unhappy and what you can do to find fulfillment in the journey, get back excited about the opportunity to build the business and life of your dreams, and get on a proven path to success. I'm even going to show my screen here, break down a couple diagrams so that visually you can see what's going on, because what's going to happen is once you understand these 4 different key topics and look at the frameworks visually, you're going to have a complete reframe of your thought patterns, and this is going to give you a completely different perspective of how to view success along the journey in real estate. So without further ado, let's dive into it and show you how to go from being an unhappy, unfulfilled agent to building massive momentum in the business and life of your dreams. What's up, guys? My name is Mike Sherrard with eXp Realty, and I train thousands of agents every single year to scale their business the modern way. And this topic is near and dear to my heart because all that I want to do is see agents build massive success, build the life of their dreams, travel, spend time with their family, and make a ton of money doing what they love. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing constantly is agents right now are down and out. They're thinking negatively. They have unhappy thoughts. They have really unhappy patterns and traits, and they're viewing things completely wrong. So the first thing that I'm going to do is pull up my screen here, and I want to walk you through a really important concept that is going to give you a completely different frame of reference as to where you are, and I'm going to give a couple different examples so that you can find yourself in one of them. So the first concept I want to break down is called the gap in the gain, and so many people are living in the gap, and I'm going to break this down and visually show you, but what you want to be doing is living in the gain. I'm going to explain this. There's even a book on it which I'll link below. I highly encourage you to check it out and listen to it on Audible or get it and buy it so you can physically read it, but this will give you complete clarity as to how to understand where you're at in your business and why you're so unhappy. So the first thing that we're going to do here is just give a bit of an example of, let's say you wanted to do 24 deals this year and you're not on track for hitting it. Maybe you've done 8 deals this year and you realize that you're really not on track to hitting your 24. So you're going to come here, and what's going to happen is you started with 0 deals, you wanted to hit 24, and you ended up with 8. And what happens is this right here is going to be an ideal. This was the ideal outcome. This is the reality, and this is where we started. So what happens all too often is people are constantly measuring themselves against an ideal. What the ideal situation is, not understanding that business and life, nothing is ideal, instead of understanding where things happen in the reality. Because what happens all the time, and this is what's probably happening to you right now, especially as the market shift, is you say, okay, I've done 8 deals. I wanted to do 24 deals. Look at this massive gap here. This is the gap. And so many people are measuring themselves against the gap, against the ideal of what they were hoping to happen. But when you start looking at the reality of it, let's look at the gain. We went from 0 to 8 deals. So you've actually made progress, you've actually built momentum. So understanding that it's really important to break this down in a couple different lenses, because it's not just about doing deals. I want to explain a couple different things and how to reframe your progress, because this is what happened to myself personally. So we're going to look at another graph here, and we're going to come and say 0, and then we're going to say $1 million. And what happens oftentimes too is it's always going to be on a sliding scale, to the point where most driven entrepreneurs never think they're doing enough. So for me, I went on this journey to making $1 million, and that was an ideal. And all the time along there, I was doing, $300K for a couple of years. I did $100K for a year, and then I ended up exploding to $1 million. And what happened is I would always tell myself, if I make $1 million a year, I'm going to be so successful. I'm going to feel like this. I'm going to feel like that. I'm going to be doing these trips and all these things. And then what happened is this didn't become $1 million. What happened actually is I ended up making $1 million. And then I said, well, I want 10. And now I'm here. And now again, I'm yet again unhappy immediately. Instead of appreciating where I've come, I'm looking at where am I not? What have I not achieved and not done? And this can happen so often in all aspects of our life where you can say, okay, I'm here. I want to do 24 deals. I've done 0 and now I'm looking at 8. And this is what I achieved. And what happens oftentimes is you're also just looking at business. What you're not looking at is saying, okay, well, I didn't do my deals, right? So I've got this spread here of not doing my deals, but I'm a realtor. I'm doing what I love every single day. I get to go out and help people. I get to go build the business of my dreams. And the next part is saying, well, you know what? It doesn't really matter because I've also got years to come. And I've got many more years that I'm able to do this. And also, there's no ceiling on my potential. I can make unlimited money here. Maybe this year didn't go okay, but guess what? I can get back on track. I can start fresh and I can do it next year and the year after, and I can build momentum. Oh, by the way, I'm also meeting so many cool people, and I'm able to meet all these cool people. Oh, and also I get to view cool properties. Oh, and also I get to come down here and I get to learn new skill sets. So what's happening is you're measuring yourself against this ideal, looking at the deals, and that's it, that's all. But what you're not looking at is this whole slew of things and the opportunity that you have to be thankful for, and the fact that you've even made up this gain and built momentum. So understanding the gap and the gain is really important, and not always measuring yourself against an ideal. Yes, you have, of course, you want to build massive momentum, and you want to not just say, hey, I'm good with 8 deals, but you want to appreciate the fact that you've built momentum and the fact that there's still massive opportunity to go. I'm going to explain another concept in a second here that will make this even more clear, but understanding the gap and the gain is incredibly important. So right now, if you're not where you want to be, if you're unhappy, think about all the things that you do have to be happy for. Think about where you have been in the past, where you are today, and who you've become along that journey. And you have so much to be thankful for. So number 2 is another one that is extremely dangerous, and this happens all too often. I'm going to explain what you could be doing in order to get outside of it and to alleviate this from your life, which is understanding the concept that comparison is the death of the thief of joy. Comparison is so dangerous, and all too often, especially with social media, we're comparing ourselves to all these other agents that are posting on social media, the big luxury property tours, and they're getting, hundreds of thousands of views, and you're not, and they're getting all these listings and you're not, and they're closing all these deals and you're not. So what happens is, by focusing on what other people are doing, you're taking your time, energy, and attention away from doing what you should be doing in order to build momentum. And again, going to the gap and the gain, you're always comparing yourself to that gap of where they are versus the gain of where you have personally come. Now, also, it's really important to understand the difference between vanity metrics and real business momentum, because what you'll realize, and trust me, I know this from experience because I talk to, again, over 100 agents a month every single year, and I see how much most agents are making. I know many agents that are doing the property tours, the social media posts, they're posting beside nice cars, they're doing all the videos and getting hundreds of thousands of views, and they're broke. They have no business, it's not their listings, it's somebody else's car, they don't actually have any money, but from the surface of social media, it looks like they're crushing it, they're millionaires, they've got all the connections, but you don't see their signs in the yard. And that's the thing, is you need to understand that there is a reality and then there is perception. And unfortunately, because of social media, the perception of what people are doing becomes the reality that you think is the truth, but oftentimes it's not. So what you need to do right now, and I urge you to stop, pause this video and think about this for a second. Think about anybody that you continuously compare yourself. It's probably in most cases going to be an agent that's either in your market or a competing market or some other market. And you're always thinking yourself, well, they're crushing it, or they're doing so well and I'm not, and they're driving the cars and I'm not. Go unfollow them, block them if you need to. Whatever you need to do, get rid of them. There's 2 things that are really important in understanding, which is anchors and propellers. It's the only 2 types of people and things that are in your life. Certain things anchor you and keep you where you are right now. Other things propel you and get you to where you want to go, or help you with where you want to go. Those people are anchors. You have to eliminate them at all costs. So by comparing yourself, you're always going to be thinking about what others are doing. It's always going to be detracting from your progress. All that you need to do to build momentum and be happier is understanding where you've came, where you want to go. And from my own experience, if you focus on just getting better yourself day over day, year over year, you will never have to worry about competition, and ultimately you're going to be the one that people are starting to compare themselves with. Number 3 is going to be a really important concept, and it's going to bring more clarity to the gap in the gain, which is the concept that Ed Milet always talks about, who's one of my coaches, which is blissful dissatisfaction. What the concept of blissful dissatisfaction is, it is essentially boiling down to being blissful or being happy with where you are today, but being dissatisfied knowing you've got so much more left to achieve and to prove to yourself. Now, when you look at the gap in the gain of the reference that we talked about here, you've got 24 deals as the ideal, 8 deals became the reality. So what happens is you need to find happiness in saying, okay, you know, I didn't do 24 deals, but I didn't do 0 deals. I did 8 deals. Okay, great. But I'm also dissatisfied knowing I've got so much more to prove. So instead of just saying, hey, I did 8 deals, that's great, let's keep doing that every year, say, hey, I did 8 deals. It's not really ideal, not where I want it to be, but it is what it is. You can't change it. Let's change the course of action. Let's get back on the mission. Let's reframe our thoughts, our goals, our actions, our habits, and our daily schedule. And let's make sure next year we're going to smash 24 deals. And that's a really important concept to understand so that you don't just become content with doing the 8 deals a year, but you also don't beat yourself up over it. And this is going to happen constantly because you're going to say you want to do 24 deals. Guess what's going to happen? Next year, you're going to hit 24 deals, and now you want to do 50 deals. And you might do 32 the next year. Okay, back to it. What's going to happen now is you didn't do 50, you did 34. You're measuring yourself against the ideal. The reality is 32, but look at the gain. You passed 24, which was your previous goal. So it's really important to understand that one concept because that's always going to keep you happy where you are and also understanding that you've got more left in the tank. This is the concept of enjoying the journey. All too many people are focused on the outcome and saying, I will be happy when X happens. I've done it. I will be happy when I make $1 million a year. I will be happy when I get this car. I will be happy when I go on this trip. And guess what? Happiness is not a destination. It is a journey. You will never find happiness and fulfillment by achieving something. You're going to find happiness and fulfillment by enjoying the journey to get there, because once you get it, there's going to be a new journey. And if you're always measuring happiness based on outcomes, you're never going to find it in your life. Now, number 4 is the concept of being a lone wolf. And all too many people feel like they're lonely, and this is really, really detrimental because in real estate, it genuinely is a lonely business. And what happens all the time is people are stuck in their office or stuck wherever, and they always feel like nobody's there to support them, nobody's there to help them, they're by themselves, and that starts to weigh very heavily, which is why you hear so many agents saying they feel like they're a lone wolf. That is also why we created the Wolf Pack at EXP, where you've got thousands of agents that are coming on Zoom calls every single day, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, talking about different strategies to scale your business, surrounding yourself with people that are all executing at a high level, because rising tides lifts all ships. And if you've got all these ships that are up here and you're down here, well, as they start to rise, you're going to rise with them. So it's really important to surround yourself with people that are ahead of you, that want to actually see you succeed, because all too many people are going to say they want to see you succeed, but they don't actually want to help you get there, especially at traditional brokerages, because that's then going to create competition within their office, which they don't want. So they're going to tell you, oh yeah, John or Sarah, you can crush it, you can do this, go after it, go get it. And they're never going to share how to actually do it. So you're going to be stuck there, surrounded by all these people that don't want to see you succeed, aren't willing to help you, and now you're going to feel like a lone wolf. So if you want to know more about partnering with me and my incredible record-breaking group, where you'll get all of our top training tools and resources and calls every single week on mindset, how to scale your production, and how to become a client magnet, just click the link in the description and you can book a private one-on-one call with me, and I will break down and show you exactly how we can do that. And the best part is, it's all for free. No additional split, no additional cap, no additional fees, nothing. So those are the 4 reasons why I see so many people unhappy, and hopefully that gives you clarity so that you can identify where you are today and what we can be doing differently going forward in order to make sure that you build the life and business of your dreams. Also, the last thing I want to say is if you really like this video, check this one out next. This video is going to be a great blueprint of what you can do going forward in order to start to become a client magnet.